Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here with MGS Coaching Football. My background is my 38th year coaching football. I've either been a defensive, offensive, or special teams coordinator, as well as a head coach at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about what we call a payload game, in that it's a three-man pass rush line stunt. Okay, so the three defensive linemen that we have, all three are involved in a payload game. Okay, so this one we call tennis. And tennis, the Lucky Ringo is to the rover. Okay, so we let the rover make the call, and the call is echoed by the inside linebackers to make sure that the opposite defensive end hears it. Okay, so the defensive end on the side of the rover is the guy who's really uber involved in the tennis payload game. Okay. So all three are in green because all three are involved. And the specifically why the defensive end opposite is considered part of the pass rush game is because the entire purpose, as you can see here, it ultimately is a double A gap, okay, pressure. And that should, if you don't get the sack, it should push the quarterback to the outside cage defender opposite, which is the outside defensive end. So he needs to be fully aware that hopefully, if the inside pressure doesn't get to the quarterback, they flush the quarterback out to him, okay, in the outside cage. All right. So we'll start with the opposite DN first. Loop, we call this only in a definite passing situation where the tendency is 80% or more, the team's going to throw the football. So it's not necessarily just third down. It would be a situation where it's more likely than not, it's going to be a longer developing pass play. Okay, so that really significantly kind of narrows down the tendencies as to when you'd use this. Okay. So the loop on the snap of the football, we allow the defensive end to kind of, if they need to, change their stance slightly. I mean, it's kind of obvious even to the offense that what we're going to do is going to be a little bit different. So that gives him a better chance to get off outside, all right, on his loop. And so it's sort of a slant step, but then after that, he's really working to get outside and upfield without getting engaged with the tackle. So he may have to defeat hands, but the likelihood is he's not going to have any contact with the tackle, and that's on purpose. So over with the nose, who as you see is going to go first, and he's working in conjunction with the end in this case because it's a lucky call. All right. And as always, we're left and right. So Lucky, the end knows he's in it. Ringo, the stud, knows he's in it. But then the end realizes he's outside cage because we're hoping to flush the quarterback to him if we don't sack him. Okay. So the nose going first, when he says stab A, he's stabbing at the guard, which is different than if you see my other presentations in the pistol playlist. A stabbing DN is actually stabbing the guy he's lined up on. In tennis, the nose is stabbing the guard who he's not lined up on. And by doing that, he's picking. It's not the same, again, see pistol playlist, as mule, where it's a blatant block type of pick. Okay? By essentially, we say you slant, which is the hip of the guard, and then penetrate, right? But by doing that with stab, we really want it to be more of a vertical, so you're threatening the A gap even quicker. So it's not the same type of step as the slant. So the kids know that because when we say stab, it's a variation of the slant step, SS, right? Stab. And so then he's just penetrating and trying to get vertical up in that A gap. And if he can sack the quarterback, he's going to do it. Okay? So now we'll bring in the defensive end and the call side. All right, so what's meant by flash? He's taking a little bit of it's what we tell him is it's the read step with your outside foot. Again, see my 3-4 base playlist. The tackle and playing base defense with his inside foot is taking a little cheat read step to read the guard. So the flash, we say now you're going to do that with your outside foot. And it's going to be a little bit more involved, meaning you're going to actually move your head and shoulders to sell that you're going outside. Okay? So the flash step, it's a little bit more, a little bit of an angle step, but he sells it with his shoulders and his head, and then he rips his outside arm across. And from there, he's looping butt side, okay, butt side of the nose, and the nose should be long gone, okay? It's not very likely he's going to come in contact with the guard, okay? The guard should be immediately involved with the nose. If he isn't, the nose is going to make the play. Okay, so then as he flashes and now he's ripping that outside out, boom, he's coming hard. He's reading the center, okay, and he's going to go butt side of the center. So if the center and the guard are doubling here, he's going to cross the center's face, see this here, into the opposite A gap. But if in this penetration it's a quick combo and now the center is looking to this backside A away, then he's going to go right off of his butt there. Because again, this guard's going to be involved here, so he'd be more up in this area here, butt side. Okay? And so that's what's involved. And so it's potentially, right, double A gap, or he's gotten so much penetration, he's looking here. Again, it's up the middle, not necessarily double A gap, pretty much the same thing. Again, it's inside pressure by design. Okay, and so what we're trying to do is we're either going to get two on the nose, and that's going to really open it up for the defensive end, or we're going to get great penetration to occupy the guard, and that's going to that alone should move the quarterback out of the pocket away toward the outside cage defensive end. And then if this center, whether he's looking at him, so you cross his face opposite A, or he's looking into the opposite A gap, so you stay butt side, the center can't be right. Okay? And again, the inside pressure, if that doesn't get the quarterback, we're hoping to force him over to the outside cage defensive end. Again, long yardage situations, we look for 80% pass, number one, and number two, it's got to be long yardage. So it's more likely that the quarterback, and again, the teams have to show. Some teams long yardage are going to throw a quick screen, just get what they can, and or if it's third down, quick screen, punt the football. You got to know that too. So this would not be the situation to call it if that's what your opponent's going to do. All right. So again, as always, it's going to involve film study and knowing your opponent's tendencies. So it could be different for you. I'm just telling you, if you know that it's going to be a long developing pass play, that's the time to call tennis. Okay? So as usual, please, any questions, reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. I'll get right back to you.